गुड मॉर्निंग स्टूडेंट्स। लास्ट लेक्चर में हमने देखा था लॉ ऑफ कर्मा की हमने बात की थी। और क्वालिटी ऑफ वर्क लाइफ की हमने बात करी थी कि किस तरीके से आपकी प्रोफेशनल लाइफ पे ये दो चीजें जो है इन्फ्लुएंस डालती है। ओके। अब हम आज देखेंगे कि जो भी हमारे लेजेंड जो है उनके क्या एथिक्स थे। एथिक्स ऑफ विवेकानंद, गांधी जी, औरोबिंदो एंड टैगोर। So India has many legendary individuals as great thinkers and philosophers who followed a moral code and also inspired others to do so. They did so not for the sake of any reward or to adhere to some standards, but for its own sake. They have demonstrated that all human beings can achieve a higher mental and spiritual development in which the moral conduct becomes the natural expression. The ethics that these individuals followed are far beyond the logic and reasoning attached to the daily living, striving for success, recognition, and achievements. Some of these great individuals in the history of India are Swami Vivekananda, Mahatma Gandhi, Sri Aurobindo, and Rabindranath Tagore. Now, first, ethics of Swami Vivekananda. Swami Vivekananda, whose real name was Narendranath Datta, was a disciple of Ramakrishna Paramhans. He became a monk at a very early age, but he was not much like other saints. To describe Swami Vivekananda as a saint would be confining his identity because he was a great thinker, philosopher, peace builder, a believer of modern science and education, and most importantly, a youth icon. His ethical philosophy was based on mutual respect of human beings, where one believes in equality. Swami Vivekananda said that morality is based on the purity of the soul and not on the social censor. He believed that the intrinsic nature of human beings is purity. He said that our Atman, that is our true divine self, is one with the Supreme Spirit or Paramatma. This means that he believed in the highest true potential of human beings and the inclusivity of people and their surroundings. His theory of divine self and oneness with the Supreme Spirit teaches to love and serve everyone around, which leads to ethical behavior. Swami Vivekananda believed in serving people and he urged educated people to help those who lived in hunger and unfavorable conditions. He believed in the youth and urged them to make determination to work for bigger causes and attain success. He used to tell the youth that if they were determined, then there is nothing that cannot be achieved. He urged the youth to persevere until the goal is achieved and gave the slogan, Arise, awake, and stop not till the goal is reached. तो ये हमने देखा स्वामी विवेकानंद, जिनको यूथ आइकॉन जो बोलते हैं, उन्होंने सबको इस चीज के लिए मतलब एनकरेज किया कि आप जो भी जो एजुकेटेड पीपल हैं वो जो दूसरे जो लोग अनफेवरेबल कंडीशन में हैं उनकी हेल्प करें। ओके। इसके बाद आता है हमारे एथिक्स ऑफ महात्मा गांधी। Mahatma Gandhi, though born in Hindu family, was highly influenced by other religions as well. And he believed that religion is not something that is rigid, but which leads to the moral government of the universe. He took insights from Bhagavad Gita and taught many lessons to humanity about moral values. His contribution to the independence of India through non-violence and satyagraha are known to, throughout the world following are his idealism. He believed that perfection cannot be achieved in terms of achieving the highest self, and hence human beings must keep on striving to follow the virtues of truth, love, non-violence, tolerance, fearlessness, charity, and service to mankind. He believed that service to mankind was service to God. He said that to see God, one must see through his creations. This thought leads to the mutual growth of everyone. क्या चीज थी उनकी, क्या बिलीव था उनका कि अगर आप सर्विस टू मैनकाइंड इज द सर्विस टू गॉड, कि अगर इफ यू वांट टू सी द गॉड तो आप उसकी जो क्रिएशंस है उसकी हेल्प करो, उनके थ्रू गॉड को देखो। ओके। So he talked about ethical conduct to be very important and that people must uphold the truth regardless of consequence. He strongly emphasized on cleanliness. He stressed on both physical and spiritual cleanliness. Spiritual cleanliness leads to purity of mind and makes a person of his moral value. His ahimsa non-violence did not only mean refraining from killing, but also to show love and compassion to the entire humanity. Being inclusive and having compassion for everyone is actually non-violent. He believed in peaceful coexistence of the mankind. His doctrine of trusteeship regarded the wealthy to be the trustees for the disproportionate wealth they hold. Hence, they have to use it for the betterment of poor and underprivileged and build a society of equality. His term Satyagraha was given to the passive resistance movement by adopting the virtues of truth and non-violence. One who holds the virtues and follows the moral discipline and holds on the truth is called Satyagraha. Satyagraha also means dialogue. That means that any conflict can be resolved by listening to both parties and getting the complete truth. ओके, तो ये हमारे गांधी जी के एथिक्स थे जो अहिंसा नॉन वायलेंस पे चले थे. नॉन वायलेंस से मतलब सिर्फ ये नहीं होता है कि लोगों को नहीं मार रहे हैं, उसका मतलब दूसरा भी होता है कि आप जो है सबके लिए अपना एक रेस्पेक्ट शो करो, लव शो करो, है ना. तो ये थे. नाउ द एथिक्स ऑफ श्री औरोबिंदो घोष. Sri Aurobindo Ghosh was an Indian philosopher, yogi, guru, poet, and a nationalist. He joined the Indian movement for independence and was an influential leader. Later on, he became a spiritual reformer and gave his entire attention to yoga. He believed that moral principles must not be based on any external code, as such an approach narrow and judgmental. Some of his views on ethical conduct are as below. He believed that people of moral values neither calculated the consequences of less or more of the greatest number of people using utilitarianism, nor does they lay down any conditions but act ethically because that is the right thing to do. He believed that the true nature of the human being is the highest self, where they always act according to what is right. He believed that when no rule is imposed on human beings and when there is a seeking of the true self, then the self evolves and then the act of justice, compassion, purity, truthfulness, etc. becomes a natural expression. He believed in the spiritual realization that not only liberated but transformed human nature. He developed a spiritual practice called internal yoga. उनका पूरा ध्यान था आत्मशुद्धि. उन्होंने योगा के थ्रू मतलब बहुत ही लोगों को मोरल वैल्यू सिखाने की कोशिश करी. अब आते हैं हमारे रविंद्रनाथ टैगोर. He was a novelist, dramatist, educationist, poet, social reformer, and a politician. He had a vast knowledge of all fields that were of concern for Indian life. His significant ideas are as below. He believed in spiritual humanism. The supreme reality, according to him, can only be achieved through love of mankind, love of God translated to love of humans. He believed that he stood by individuals for justice because he thought that the state existed for the individuals and its activities must be directed towards the betterment of those individuals. He advocated stand alone spirit and fearlessness and urged people to stand up for their rights. He had faith in social solidarity and ancient Indian culture and civilization. He felt that social and political institutions must go side by side. He therefore believed in making constructive efforts to revive ancient Indian culture. His education system is revolutionary, and he believes that the objective of education is not merely an accumulation of knowledge, but it is for the overall development of a human being. He emphasized on freedom and joy in education and hence elimination of physical punishment, examination, and fear. He believed in an education which allows the Eastern and Western culture to unite and understand each other. Therefore, he established Shanti Niketan, a new university which acted as connecting thread between India and the world. While each of the above great men gave their own views in different works, their thoughts are targeted to only one direction, and that is the achievement of the greater self through spiritual practice. Also, from their life, it is clear that spiritual practice is the purity of self and bringing out our highest potential, and it does not involve any kind of ritual. All of these thinkers point out that doing good for others is the greatest good. Their philosophies are based on religion, but religion is for them is not something with rigid rituals and rules, but that which liberates the human beings and helps them find their ultimate सेल्फ। तो अभी जिनके भी हमने बात की स्टूडेंट्स, वो सब आप देखो एक ही चीज पर आपका फोकस उनका मतलब उन्होंने प्रेशराइज किया, दैट इज प्योरिटी। प्योरिटी किसकी? थ्रू स्पिरिचुअल प्रैक्टिस आप खुद की प्योरिटी, प्योरिटी ऑफ सेल्फ। ओके, in conclusion, we can say that there are many theories and values that are based on different moral reasoning, and human beings use different theories at different point of time based on the situation and the reasoning which is best suited. Merely using these theories as reasoning tools without any kind of deep knowledge or practical experience usually leaves people in confusion. There can be inconsistency in moral behavior of people due to this. For this, we have seen that a strong educational system which makes the core values of the individual right from the childhood is necessary. And finally, from the lives of great individuals from the history, it is proved that every human being can achieve a highest state where they will naturally take the moral path. ओके, तो हमने यहाँ पे बड़े बड़े जो लीडर्स थे, हमारे जो फिलोसोफर्स थे, उनके एग्जाम्पल के थ्रू भी हमने यहाँ पे एक चीज देखी, जो मोरली करेक्ट पाथ चूज करता है वो हमेशा जो है प्रॉफिट में ही रहते हैं। भले आप प्रोफेशनल वे में देखो या अपनी पर्सनल लाइफ में देखो, इफ यू विल डू गुड यू विल गेट गुड। ओके, so I hope it is clear to you students. Thank you everyone.